welcome to What the Bird Heard, episode 3. In this episode, we'll be talking about the song Ethiopia by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Okay, not a song by the Red Hot Chili Peppers that's very popular at all, right? Some people say I'm With You is their worst album. I disagree with that. Although it's not my favorite album by them, there are some really good songs on this album, and this is one of them that's overlooked. So when did this song come out? Well, it wasn't a single, but it was released with the album I'm With You on August 26th, 2011. Okay, so 2011, not that recent, really, 13 years ago, okay? But I still remember it clearly when it came out. So, personnel on this track, hopefully you know, Flea on bass, Josh Klinghoffer, Klingy on guitar, Anthony Kiedis on vocals, Chad Smith on drums, produced by Rick Rubin. Now, what is so good about the song, in my opinion? Well, one of the members shines on this album, and especially on this track. And can you guess which one? Flea. My theory is with Frusciante out of the picture, Flea has more time to shine. Time to shine. Not that the other members aren't doing anything, obviously, because they do good things too. But I'm With You is Flea's album, in my opinion. That he shines on this album. He plays the piano, he plays the trumpet, and most of all, he plays the bass. I feel like that as far as Klinghoffer goes, he is more present on the Getaway than I'm With You. There's not too many Klinghoffer show-off moments on this album. But on Ethiopia, what do we hear at the beginning? It tells us already how it's going to be. Rollin' Everybody starts out with bass. If you've never noticed that, that's what Flea says at the beginning. And we get on with this groove that he has at the beginning. I mean, like, how's that not catchy? And then, I think that Josh Klinghoffer was going for kind of like a techie 2011 days sound on this album. He's like, with that, like, doo, 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 doo. It's like that kind of rhythmic guitar tone or sound. And we have Chad Smith keeping up the interesting beat there, a little bit syncopated. And Anthony Kiedis, well, I guess he doesn't know how to spell Ethiopia because he says Eioieia, but that's okay. Anthony Kiedis, well, the lyrics of Kiedis are never typically too profound to me. And this track is no different. So I would say like the lyrics on this don't stand out to me necessarily. I don't really know what it would be about. I heard someone say it was about his son, but I'm not quite sure. So we're gonna a little bit put Kiedis in the background for this episode because he's not doing too much on this. But what ends up happening? So we have an interesting progression a little bit. It's nice. We go right down. We go A, G, F, D, C, A. I believe those are chords. And that's just for the verse. And then things pick up a little bit for the chorus. But my favorite part of the song is the when he decides to cruise things down to E for the bridge. And I told you, I've said this before, I really like the bridge. So it's like, and that's a great part right there. And this is a very odd song for the Red Hot Chili Peppers because for the most part, most of their songs are just 4/4, or if you want to talk about "Carry Me Home" or something else like that, like sometimes 6/8. But yeah, kind of an interesting timing. Although I'm not quite sure what it is. Like, I'm not just some genius on that, so I'm not sure exactly what the time signature is, but it's definitely a little bit. I can count it in my head, but I couldn't tell you exactly what it is. Like sometimes it could be represented as something plus something, whatever. But it's obvious in this album that Flea's music training paid off. Like obviously he was really good before too, but I'm just saying like there's a lot of extra spicy things in this album. But this song is just really nice. And then right after that part I was just talking about, the E minor Flea thing, um, we have during that some interesting sounds from Josh Klinghoffer that I was talking about, some strange like techno sort of things. Then we have the Klinghoffer um, 3/2 solo kind of thing, like and that's always like a little bit mind boggling, or not mind boggling, but like I don't know what the word is, but like if you ever try to play that, like it kind of is a little tricky to do something like that. Like he's doing three notes when it's over two, so not that it's a triplet, it's like it lands on a different thing every time. It's like doing that, so it's kind of tricky. Um, and then we have some spicy augmented Klinghoffer sounds at the end. It's like, oh, and you have to end things at the end. But and then we have that same Flea beat or Flea melody that was in the E, but in the A at the end. So then it's dun, 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 and then just ends with a nice little symbol of Chad Smith, and that wraps up the song. So, anyways, that's mostly all I have to say about the song, but it's a really good song in my opinion. I mean, I just really like it. It's probably my favorite one on the album, but I still like a lot of other ones too. Um, Now, was it played that many times live? Actually, yes, it was one of the more played songs on the album. Not like played super a lot, but it actually was played during the Getaway tour. But obviously, they haven't played it since then because they don't play any Klinghoffer songs when they have Drum for Shante now. But if there ever was somehow a Klinghoffer return, maybe this song would get a revival. But I don't know if that would ever happen. But that would be really cool. Like honestly, I always thought it would be cool if they somehow had both because I really liked Klinghoffer albums. So it would be really cool if they somehow were able to have both, like, and like for the Stadium Arcadium stuff, like Josh could do, like they could play Turn It Again, and like, um, Josh could do like the background stuff, or like the not the background, like this the second guitar, so they could actually play like some of the songs on Stadium Arcadium, and then, but I get it, like some of the songs, either one of them would have to probably sit out on, which would kind of be weird. So that's probably why they couldn't have both. But anyways, I do really like Klinghoffer albums. But anyways, that's it. That's it. That's the end of Ethiopia.